We live in a time and place where our children are exposed to so much of the outside world, be it inappropriate images or alternative lifestyles. Sensitive topics, specifically those that are bein ish leisha, need to be addressed in some way to a child. At what age and how should this be done? Rabbi Majeski.
Rabbi left. I was speaking with the Yeshiva of the Mir of Elia Brudny a few weeks ago. I was in New York, and I was discussing with him the topic that went on with the author in Eretz Yisrael. And he said to me something fascinating. He said, when Moshe Rabbeinu finally realized why we were in Mitzrayim, he says the words "Achein and Noda Hadavar." He says, "Now I know. Now I know." And Rashi says he sees that he started talking Lashon Hara, and you're going to tell on me, and now I know why we're here. And Rav Elia said that the Achein Noda Hadavar of our generation is that everything is Noda Hadavar, is that everything is known. And he said he was getting calls from parents. My fourth grader came home from school and asked me about this. And he said, how does a fourth grader know what happened? Did the Rebbe tell him? Who told him? How does a fourth grader know what happened? We became such an Achein Noda Hadavar generation that like, everything is known. How much do we have to tell our children? Well, first of all, we have to know how much do they know already. And I sit down, I have a schus to be a chassan teacher. First time I sit with a chassan is, how much do you know? They know a lot. People know. So we have to ask ourselves, first of all, how much do our children know? And why is that they know so much? Where's that coming from? At what point, you discuss these important discussions? Is really many of these questions you have to really know your children. I would say on a simple level, a basic answer, what I was makabel from my rebbeim is at the age of bar and bas mitzvah. I took my own children out for sushi. I wanted sushi. They got a Coke, but you take them out, and yes, we had a very, very open discussion, but in a very, very bakavadik way. And I would say almost in a way that's not really for a public forum. But in a way of letting them know how Hashem made the world, how He wants us to have the most out of this world, and the world Hashem wants us to have pleasure. And there's a proper way and an improper way of how to get that pleasure and that amazing relationship. And you see what happens in the world out there when they don't. And there's big Yetzer Haras out there, and they have to know. I would say the simple age to somewhat talk about, especially nowadays, is bar and bar mitzvah with an open dialogue that we'll get back to this in the future, and that they should feel comfortable enough being able to talk to you. That's another discussion, how you get to that point. So for more of my expert parenting tips, you can contact me. But the basic, I think, the question before that we have to ask ourselves is, how much do they know? And why do they know? And who are they hanging around? And how much do we allow them to know beforehand? Because children are only meant to understand a certain amount. Even the Geisha world understands that. There's certain ratings for movies, whatever they have, in their expertise. But they understand that children can't understand certain things. So I think we have to really take the question back a step and ask ourselves, how much are we allowing our children nowadays to understand?
Thank you. Rabbi Lev? Any all right.
Okay, I
agree with what was said, but I just want to add something. There's a joke. The little 5-year-old comes to his mother and says, "Mommy, where did I come from?" And she's all flustered, a 5-year-old, such a question. And he doesn't give up. "Mommy, where did I come from?" So she tells him the facts of life. And after she finishes, the boy looks up, he says, "I don't understand. Joey said he came from Brooklyn." You have to know what a child is capable of understanding, and then you can explain to them what they're capable. Children are very have a lot of questions. They're curious, and they ask questions. At different ages, the answers have to be different. You have to know where they're coming from. I would say that what a child can understand, you tell them, and tell them when they get older, they'll understand more, and they should come back and ask more questions. And that usually satisfies them. They don't need to know things that are beyond their comprehension. In yeshivas, they learn Maseches Kedushin, and they have no idea what it means, but the Rebbe just tells them that's what it is. And if they have more questions about it and they're more curious, they'll ask more. And usually they'll ask the Rebbe or they'll ask their parents, and the answer should be what they can handle at that point. Don't have to go into great detail for a child that great detail is meaningless to him. But he'll be satisfied with a very short, to-the-point answer, and to let him know there's more to talk about. When you get older, we'll do that. That's all. The main thing is that when children ask questions in these areas, they should be told that there's nothing wrong with asking questions like that, and this area is an area of life that's normal or whatever. There's nothing wrong with it, and if he's told things by his friends or whatever, he should come home and discuss it, because usually what the friends know is completely distorted. So a child should feel free to speak to their parent and know that when they ask questions like this, the parent makes them feel they're not asking something taboo and something that's not nice or not clean or whatever, that it's a perfectly normal part of life. And when they're old enough, they'll detail with them with an answer. And now this is enough for you to know.
Thank you.